I hope that you guys are doing well. Normally, podcasts shouldn't really start with an introduction, and I like to start directly into the topic itself. But in the past couple of days, especially, I really was touched by so many stories in the aviation industry itself. And I really believe that a company will actually reach with a really good story behind the founder. And today, we are on air with FlyIAA with the first episode of the whole series. Normally, what we will reveal in the series is things about aviation that you will be interested about to know, but from leaders. Now, the vision started with a young kid that dreamed about building something that is actually intercontinental, and that's Captain Wissam Al Mehyou. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Hi, everybody. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for having me here.
Of course.
And inshallah, it will be like an enjoyable one.
Inshallah. Honestly, I am inspired. Okay. I love the fact that a lot of people will not really, when they speak to you, they will not really know how exactly old you are. And that's because of how mature you are, maybe because of the experiences and everything else. And if you don't want to reveal it, I totally don't mind. Okay. But
I'm a man, huh?
yeah, I know. But in the same time, if you don't want to reveal it, it's totally fine by me. The main thing is Wissam the kid. Talk to me from there.
It's a dream. It's just a dream. I dared to dream. I dared to set high expectation and goals. And actually today, when I just arrived from a board meeting, as you know. So today in the board, we were talking about two things. So the chairman was saying that in his story, that he believed that one day he will become a CEO of a company, and today he's like the founder. I believe that I will be the person I am today. And this is something that is not normal and usually normal, because as a young kid you will be dreaming about playing, you will be dreaming about your degree and so on. I was already dreaming about what I will be doing next in terms of business and entrepreneurship. I started my first business venture when I was 16 years old.
MashaAllah.
I come from a business family that I think it runs in the blood of the family as well.
That's the next thing that I
But
wanted to ask you. Did it come because of an inspiration or because of a family related business?
the two people that they are my mentors in life, like in terms of mentors, my father, like a great guy that built an empire, and my brother, he was 10 years older than me. So the two guys that I saw them in front of me, they are successful people working every day and building businesses. So what are you expecting, like the third person in the family to be? So I was the next business person in the family, but
No, you could
I
have been
wanted
you
I
could have
wanted
been a lazy person.
yeah, but thank God I took the good part
Yeah.
of that, and the good DNA, I would say it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I wanted to build something for my own. I wanted to write my own story as well, as my father did, as my brother did. Every person wrote their own story. My father is known as the juice person in Lebanon. And in the Middle East. And when he grew the business as well, people started to know him in later time as the wheat guy in the Middle East, and GCC and Northern Africa and Turkey. So I wanted to have my own label. So now I'm known as the young aviation entrepreneur. That's what people actually some call me when I am in places. That's the young Wissam. The young Wissam was drawing airplanes, was building airplanes from papers, throwing them, and every time I was telling people I want to become a pilot, I want to do business in aviation after becoming a pilot. Uh, some people definitely didn't believe. Usually they are the majority, but here we are today. It's I don't look back actually at all the steps. I look back always at the positive things that happened. We learned from the negative things, definitely, but today we are here. I'm on top of one of the fastest growing, I will call it, the fastest growing aviation group in the Middle East and globally. Proudly, we say that, with a beautiful board, with beautiful people beautiful people supporting, great team. Uh, and yeah, I think that the young Wissam will be proud of who I am today.
And who you will become, inshallah, in the future. Um, may God make it easy.
Inshallah.
But at the same time, when it is a little bit difficult, it's rewarding because it's a story to be told. Let me know more about the transfer from Wissam the kid to Wissam today.
Oh, that touched me in some point. At 15 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer. So yeah, very few people knows that and knows the story and knows like the story behind the logo of Intercontinental Aviation Enterprise and all its subsidiaries. At 14 years old, actually, like at the second part of the year, I was diagnosed by cancer,
No.
Hodgkin lymphoma. Yeah. So, and thank God, I survived 2 years after.
Alhamdulillah.
And at 16 years old, after I survived, I knew that God gave me a second chance, or God, that's what I thought back then, that God gave me a second chance to live. And I started doing special things, because I was like, what do I have to lose? At 16 years old, I was thinking like that.
Yeah, because you are a survivor.
You are a survivor. You saw.
Have you thought at that time, at any point,
saw
that
death.
you are leaving?
I saw death twice in this 2 years. And today I think that God didn't give me a second chance. He assigned me for a mission.
That's deep.
Yeah. So I think that was a very solid point, and for my transformation in my life. I got mature at 15, 16 years old. That's it.
You faced that and you came back.
Yeah. I faced like the worst thing that everybody, like we all now at such, we all fear death, no? So I don't anymore. I feel like it's something that once I accomplish my mission, that's it for me, which is something that, that at some point, we go back to your question, that was the transition point, or the transition period in my life.
From the Wissam the kid to
From
Wissam
Wissam to the kid to Wissam that is thinking about big things. That was like, why not?
Okay, after 16 and after literally surviving, something that a lot of people will not be able to. What was the next step that created everything today?
I delved into business with always my brain in aviation. And I still remember the first time I went to my father and I was like, Father, it's time for me to go become a pilot. I really want to become a pilot. He was like, yeah, son, but you are now 17 years old, 18 years old. I was literally in my last high school year. And I wasn't a genius in high school, by the way. So that's why a lot of people laughed at me when I was telling them I want to become a pilot, because back then I wasn't the first or the second or the third. I was one, like I would say I was in the middle, or even sometime in the last part of the class. Let's call it this way. So my father insisted. So I will be doing a university year in here before I leave to complete my training, and I kept on nagging, month after month, day after day, and when you have it, you want to do it, and then that's it. They accepted, the family accepted, and that's where
you forced them.
I forced them, yeah.
Okay.
As normal,
Okay.
yeah. As I say always in the induction days, you never see a parent dragging their kids to become pilots. It's usually the way around. You see the kids taking their parents in their ear
That's true.
to sign the contract.
That's true.
So I went to Oxford and I started my pilot training. I did a a double major. I went to Spain. I spent a year and a half as well there flying, and finally back. And here where Intercontinental Aviation was born. That's how Intercontinental Aviation was born.
How was your training?
How was?
How was your training for someone that came back from death, as you mentioned, to actually feeling the freedom?
It was fun. It was fun. I did acrobatic flying as well. It was for me. It was fun.
Okay.
So I fear nothing really. It's for me. It's when I'm in the air. It's like you are a bird. You know, quiet, calm. Everything is so cool.
Yeah.
The only thing that you will be thinking about is like if I have an engine failure, where am I gonna land? So you're always looking for we call it survival spot. But other than this, I don't think that there is mainly something that that made me like feel at any point that I want to step back or.
So what is the point that you said, I see this and I can do better?
In my training?
Yes, that's why I asked you about your training, because today you are an owner of multiple of academies.
Yeah.
Normally, as someone if you're ambitious, you're an ambitious person, so you'll say, okay, I will create something in aviation, but you started with an academy.
Yeah.
Take us through that story. What was the inspiration for it?
The need, the market need. So as a Middle Eastern guy, and you as a Middle Eastern guy or any Middle Eastern guy, if we go back 9-10 years ago, even more, like it's 12 now. God, time is passing, yeah. But if you go like 12-13 years ago, there were no, I won't say few, there were literally no professional pilot training academies all over the Middle East. So it was a few academies that they were trying and they were doing great locally, but not on an international scale. So we all had to pack our bags and leave our countries to go do our training in Europe.
Yeah.
So while I was there, I saw that, God, 70% of the traffic and the leads and the people that goes to do their pilot training in Europe are Arabs, Middle Easterns, mainly Middle Easterns, and then you have Indians and Asians and some Africans and so on. So 75% of the people in training, they're not Europeans. So why? Because the purchasing power is here.
Correct.
So that's what actually convinced me that no, we have to do something. I have to do something. And it was always in my mind. And that's where I went. I bought a new notebook and I started writing the business plan with my hand. No laptop, nothing. Just me, late nights, writing, drawing, drafting, calculations, a pen and a calculator. That's it.
You got your first draft of a business plan. You went back to...
We didn't have AI, unfortunately. Now it's easy. Like you put it on AI and it will give you like an extraordinary pitch. What I did is like I spent a couple of days as well typing it, drawing things on Word and Paint, and these were the tools that we had back then. And I went back to Lebanon and I was like, this is the first place where we need to start a flying school because it's easy. It was easier. And I think that I thought back then that as well in a smaller country in the Middle East, it will be easier to communicate with the civil aviation authorities. It will be it will be easier to communicate with the people It will be easier to communicate the brand and all these things. And we decided as well to have an office in the UAE because we needed as well the address of, like, the home address, let's call it. And that's how it started. So with an office and a flight school. Unfortunately, we had some uncertainties in Lebanon with our investment, with our partners, and with the situation that didn't really go as planned from multiple business point of view that I don't want to delve in now, but fast enough, like the economical crisis, the war, the COVID. So uh, it pushed us faster to start thinking about, okay, what's the next step? And the next step was Cyprus, then UAE, when we were actually mature. Because you can't enter the Emirati market and UAE market as an overall startup. You will get smashed. So we grew the business in the UAE from an office, operational office and admin office and headquarters to an official academy when we really felt that we are now ready 100% to enter the Giants game. Let's call it this way.
How about you? You went forward directly to the academy. I want to share the story of you going back with the first draft of business plan that you wrote, okay, and then what your father said to you.
Oh, you mean the investment? Yeah.
Because you didn't have that many millions in your pocket to open an academy.
I had like a couple of thousands that my father gave me to spend, on a weekend. That's it. So no, actually, I went back to the family group, to our family office, and I was like, I need the investment. And the first answer was like, now you being a pilot, do you really believe that you can run a flight school? I was like, let's try. what do we have? What do we have to lose other than a couple of millions? So, some people might say that you might be lucky to have the family backing you and so on, but you might be able to take it and lose it.
Correct.
We were able to take it
and double it, triple it,
more, a lot more. The valuation of IAE today is much more. I can't say because we are under the IPO things and so on, but we are much more. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Lebanon had a lot of challenges. What did you learn from it?
A lot of things.
The first slap and lesson that you learned, because this is inspirational, because you
don't take tomorrow as a guarantee.
Okay.
Because, in Lebanon, people slept and woke up the second day, no money in the banks. Literally, tomorrow is not guaranteed. You always have to have plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
Plan A, B, C, and D.
So people woke up in the morning and there is no money. The banks took all the money. So it taught me a lesson that we need to be diversified, and we need to be in multiple ventures, and we need to study our investments right. But Lebanon will teach you a lot of things, especially that IAA, Intercontinental Aviation Academy, FlyIAA, was built from a student perspective. When I started IAA, I drew a chart of all the things that the students are facing in all the other academies, and we tried to work on a higher experience. And that's why now, as IAA, we are considered one of the highest or one of the best academies in student experience. So all these together gave us the solution, or I would say the image and the operation we have now, where we are excelling in it.
Beautiful. Why the UAE?
Why not? Literally, you can't, like, the points of why yes are from here until Burj Khalifa. Like, but why not? You tell me, why not? Give me something that is negative about this country.
There's nothing that's negative, but it's very challenging for someone that's ambitious and just starting.
No. If you are ambitious and just starting, you are in the right place.
Why would you say so?
Why? Because like the support that you get, the most important thing is the support that you get from the government, the sheikhs, and the civil aviation authorities. Believe it or not, in other countries, they fought us to leave instead of keeping us because we're doing great things for the country. Here, one of the sheikhs once told us that you are a national Jew and jewel. No, not Jew, jewel. So, and we need to grow that together. We need to help you grow that. You never hear that in any place in the world. If you go to the government and you tell them anywhere in other places in the world, and we're dealing with more than 20 government, I can tell you, they will give you a 100 reason why not you can do it. Oh, it's too complicated. It needs 2 years. It needs go do that, come do this. And here you go to the government and they will be like, how can we help you? We want to be in this. We want to help you do this. We want to help you grow this. And listen, you are not allowed to do this at small scale. You need to be the biggest, the largest, the most beautiful, Why? So why not? People has a completely different perspective on the country, which is not correct, unfortunately.
Well, that's a beautiful way of thinking about it. Actually, the government is definitely an enabler. It enables you to do so much only if you are up to your ambitions.
Oh, exactly.
If you're not, the sharks will eat you.
Yeah, it's the land of opportunities. That's what I will say.
That's great. An academy, as a starter of the dream, grow up to the phoenix. Go ahead.
You know, the phoenix is the symbol of revival, yeah? So, you know the story of the phoenix. So, actually, the bird that people see in our logos is the phoenix with the falcon integrated together in one sharp logo. And the phoenix is as we said, is the symbol of survival, because the phoenix, the legend of the phoenix, it says that the phoenix dies,
Rise from the ashes,
burns, and rise from the ashes. So I see it as a similar story of mine, where like during my cancer time, it was like I didn't die, thank God, but I was close. But it is like going out from your ashes and not say, oh God, why this happened to me and so on. No, I took it as something very positive that happened. I think that I'm lucky that much. When I talk with people think that I'm crazy, but I'm lucky. I'm a chosen person, really.
I love the way that you see it like this.
So
and if you believe it, you will live up to it.
no, definitely, and that's the story of the phoenix. So if you see like the feathers of the wing, which is the three pillars as well, I call them in our mission, which is forward, upward, always. And it is a Bible. We have it, a 3-word Bible. We have it in the company, that we always need to think forward and we always need to go upward, and that's always. And that's the continuous, and this is the infinite support that anybody will take and get in this organization, from team, employee, management, board, and the most important piece is the client and the student.
Yeah.
And as well, the other one, which is another forward, upward, always. It is how the aircraft flies. Yeah. So the aircraft fly forward, then upward, and that's always. You will never see an airplane like flying backward, let's say. So
that is the head. That's
the wing and the body.
The wing and the body.
The head is a falcon.
Okay. Yeah, it is aggressive.
It has the aggressive look. that gives the confidence and the sharpness, and the falcon is always looking to the left, to the heart side, which is the phoenix that represent the story, the falcon that represent the attachment to the roots, and looking always to the heart. That means that whatever happened with us in history, which is the story, and whatever you people see us as aggressive, professional, and so on, but we have good heart.
I like that.
Yeah.
That leaves us with a tail.
The tail are the pillars, the company pillars under Intercontinental Aviation Enterprise, which is the Academy, Intercontinental Aviation Academy, Intercontinental Aviation Services, which is the company that does maintenance.
Where is the enterprise in this? We were at an academy level.
Yeah, but
When did the enterprise
that's
came
the
to
holding.
life?
When
did it came to life from Wissam?
the holding was from the beginning, the holding was there, and in
Okay.
the initially it was called Intercontinental Aviation Organization, but we changed it from organization to enterprise because we really needed to remove the name, the word organization, because a lot of people thought that we are a governmental entity.
Okay.
So we moved from organization to enterprise, and from the beginning it was called Intercontinental Aviation Organization, by the way.
Okay.
And the academy came on a second stage. And then when we rebranded to Intercontinental Aviation Enterprise, we did it on purpose because we wanted to show the coolness, and we wanted to show that no, we are at the holding level with sub companies under it. So IAE, it represents everything, and it has the 4 pillars under it. IAA, the academy, IAS, the company that does the maintenance, the services, aircraft acquisition, consultations, aviation consultations, and all the scopes. And we have Aviator, Capital Partners,
Okay.
one of the newest addition to the group as well. And soon enough, we'll be revealing more and more things about Aviator.
Inshallah.
And the 4th pillar, it's something that not yet time for it to be revealed. But it's the next big thing that is going to happen in the Middle East region.
You mentioned something about chapters. At which chapter is this?
That's chapter 2. We are now at chapter 1. So chapter 1 is where we are yet at startup phase. Chapter 2, January 2027, IAE chapter 2 will start as a mature corporate moving forward for the IPO.
Did you build all of this by yourself?
No, definitely not.
Family helped you or someone else?
Every single person that passed in my career.
Who did you hold up
helped
to?
me. Every single person helped me to become the person I am today. In every single thing, from every single employee, for the smallest employee in the company, to all the board I have, to family, to friends, to anyone that believed in this project. Definitely, I didn't do it alone, and I wouldn't be able to do it alone. And I love my team, and I appreciate my team, and I appreciate the hard work that they are doing. And I tell them that, guys, we're going to places that we're going to be all happy. That's it.
And proud.
Definitely. When you're happy, you're proud.
Sometimes you are happy but not proud.
Maybe.
Can you talk to me more about the enterprise, and when it came to life as an organization, as far as I understood now. But when I mentioned the people that helped you on the way, I mean the right-hand people that actually helped you with forming all of this, because I know that you have a board, and it's literally a round table like this one, that all of you are gathering all the experiences that you guys having in one table to get the best out of it. Would you be able to mention
definitely.
people on the board?
This board, the Intercontinental Aviation Enterprise board, was built on the Mehyou Group board, which is the family board. And then it split to become an independent board and become the board that is actually today in IAE. Uh, these guys in the board comes with hundreds of years of experience combined.
Who do you have?
So the chairman of Intercontinental Aviation Enterprise is Mr. Hamdi Osman, uh, a living legend in aviation, a brand by himself. That's it. So people can actually Google him and will literally give you the deep story about Hamdi Osman. And he was the guy that I mentioned in the beginning that he said he started in FedEx as a truck washer and he became the CEO. That's Hamdi Osman. At 68 years old, he decided to build after he retired and he lived a couple of years. At 68 years old, he decided to build an airline, Solitaire, with a vision to reach 20 airplane very soon. They have 7 now, and they're adding more airplanes on the go.
And they are based in Dubai?
Yes, they are based in Al Maktoum, DWC, Dubai World Center.
And how this is aligning with IAE? From an experience point of view, it's amazing, but from Solitaire point of view?
Solitaire is like a strong partner for IAE in terms of the service that we provide from the academy, because we are the official training partner of Solitaire. So we're gonna be taking care of tens of pilots that they're gonna be trained for Solitaire, and as well our students that they will have the opportunity to go direct entry into Solitaire. And it's Hamdi. Solitaire is Hamdi Osman. To be honest, the brand is Hamdi Osman. He might now be angry if he heard me saying that, but he is the brand. 50 something thousand employee under him.
MashaAllah.
200 airplane, 2000 pilot. That's his portfolio.
Hamdi Othman as a chairman. If we move down to the ladder.
So we have Isam Sultan. Isam is like a dear brother and a dear friend as well. Isam is the calm guy in the calm and the sharp guy in the board, and he's the one that is always active. He's the highest active person in the board with me, not in the management, because he's all day long guiding, asking, and doing the right consultation that I need. Isam come from rich experience in aviation. He built Ramjet, the company that has multiple ventures as well all over the places, from trip support to aircraft management to aircraft leasing as well, and financial structuring to training as well. You know, he wrote a book which is 101 awareness, aviation awareness. That's Isam. And he's acting as an executive board member and the vice chairman of the group. We have Mikhail Alenkin, the owner of Cyprus Airways and Arcos Jet and multiple as well ventures in aviation. Misha is the guy that has as well a very beautiful story. He once told me his story, and I was so impressed on how he started and where he is today. Arcos Jet, it works in private aviation, business jets, and as well aircraft acquisitions, selling and purchasing, and all these things as well, chartering, private jet chartering, and all this kind of work. Misha is the guy that everyone wants him in the board. Literally, that to summarize it. He's very supportive and he's very positive, and he's the guy that picks up everything very fast and he has a very rich aviation knowledge in terms of what IAE does. So he's somebody that you can really rely on for the right guidance, for the last moment guidance.
Beautiful.
Then we have Federico Fernandez. Uh, Actually, I can't describe Federico, really. Uh, he's the, what can I, like, really, if I give him a label, I'm gonna take out his extraordinary phenomenal job that he did for IAE. Federico is one of the most important pillars we have in intercontinental aviation enterprise. That's what I will say. Federico as well come from a very large and rich aviation experience, events, management, managing investments for governments, for aviation ventures. He worked with Emirates Group before he joined us in the board. As well, he's the dream guy in the board. So every person needs him as the dream guy in the board.
Beautiful. And that's the board of IAE?
Yeah, we still have definitely my brother. The support system. I call him the support system. He's the guy when I crash. He's the guy that I hold the phone. I was like, brother, I'm done. My energy is minus. And then he's the one that recharged me. He's like the one that, no, what are you talking about? I start shouting at me. I was like, let me not say what he what he tells me. And he's the supportive guy, yet he's the guy that always pulls me back. Believe it or not. Anytime I come with a crazy idea, he's the like guy, Habibi, come. This crazy idea means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's the guy that always asks the right questions. Actually, all the guys in the board are all the people. I call them devil advocate, because I'm the CEO and I'm the guy to get smashed every time there is a board meeting. There is 9 people in the board smashing me every time, and I'm sitting on the table
With a huge experience.
with hundreds of years of experience. And I'm 30 years old. And everybody, they're expecting me to do magic. So,
Well, you are the
but I
Phoenix.
love it. But I love it because
you need that kind of pressure.
Exactly.
It's a good pressure.
And I love pressure. Diamond is only created under pressure. I'm a person that is actually built to work under pressure. I'm so cool, and I'm happy to do that on a daily basis. And the last joiners are Hadid to the board of IAE, with my dear friend Muhammad Hadid, يعني as well. I can't, like, Hadid International is one of the most successful companies for flight support and trip support and ground handling, airport management, and so on in the history of aviation. Let me label it this way, and people can actually jump into and see who are Hadid. Muhammad is very sharp and my age. That's what I love, because he's my age in the board. And as well, he has a very beautiful and very great board in Hadid that always point out the things that is necessary. And we are here today growing very fast. As well, we have Dina Biljafla, the latest, actually, she's the latest addition to the board. Ex-vice president of Mubadala. That's it. So that's it. That's enough, yeah? So people as well can check who are Mubadala, and they will literally know who we are talking about.
So that's IAE.
Yeah.
Would you be able to take us through? We spoke about IAA.
So
spoke about IAE.
Yeah.
What about IAS?
IAE is the holding company.
Yeah.
IAE doesn't offer any services. It's the company that lead all the sub-companies, the 4 pillars that we talked about, and it has a board. It's a company established in Abu Dhabi Global Market, ADGM. And it is the company that guide all the subsidiaries on the directions we go through. Yet every subsidiary has its own management and its own board. So we have more people definitely in the board of IAA. some accountable managers in our bases. I won't name them all because I don't want to forget any, and then it will become a disaster. So I respect them all, and thank you all for your efforts. IAS IAS is a company that is as well established. It has its own separate management. Its board is the same board of IAE. It doesn't have a separate board. IAA has a separate board with its own management and its own direction. Aviator is a completely independent. Aviator Capital Partners. It's a completely independent company. It is only owned by IAE, but managerial wise, it is managed by a company called 3XP. This company is actually a fund management and investment company based in Portugal, and it's European-based financial group, and they are one of the best fund and capital ventures and investment and so on managers in Europe. And that's why Aviator Capital Partners has a complete independent in terms of management to secure its investments and its flow and all these things. It is only owned by IAE. And the last venture that we will be talking about in a couple of months or a year, I would say.
How many employees when you're talking about in all the bases? Because maybe something that we haven't mentioned yet. I have 5 different bases.
Yes, so IAA today operates in flight schools, operates in UAE as our headquarters, in Cyprus, in Greece, and we're opening now in Portugal. In Lebanon, unfortunately, for the situation and all these things, we decided to suspend all our training in Lebanon because of multiple reasons. I think, and we think, that Lebanon is not ready for flight school now. It might be ready soon, but now it's a waste of time and money to train people in Lebanon. And this is something that we decided as a group to suspend the training in Lebanon, but our offices are still operating there. And soon, when we are sure that the country is ready to welcome an aviation investment towards an academy, we're gonna fly back in Lebanon because it was the first flight school there. So we want to go back there as soon as possible once the war is completely ended and the political situation is okay. Today, we feel that we have a very important mission and in front of our student, and we don't want to commit in Lebanon. It is better for us to move our students to one of our European bases to do their training. And soon enough, we will have a base in Syria as well, and in Saudi Arabia. We have a ground school base in Iraq, and soon we will be announcing as well 2 more countries for ground school.
And when it comes to IAS, does it operate in multiple countries as well?
IAS is a sister company of IAA. So for maintenance, IAS will be operating in parallel with IAA. But IAS literally operates in 50 plus countries today in terms of scopes, not in terms of offices and so on. So we have partners in 50 plus countries that they are operating on ground, and soon enough we will start appointing direct agents to be working on ground for our scouting and investments, because we want to grow our scopes and we will be entering like airport acquisitions, airport BOTs and PPP and all these things, and some governmental contracts and so on. So soon enough IAS is gonna grow organically within the group, but where there is IAA, there is IAS. But as well, IAS is more than this.
Because it's all the services, it's not only the training.
Yeah, we can do services everywhere. Literally, IAS can go to every single country in the world that require our service and our experience.
Okay. And Aviator?
Aviator Capital Partners is...
Where did the idea come from at the beginning?
The idea came from the need, and the idea came from the problems that they are available now in the market. So you see all the academies, they are struggling with one thing.
Planes.
Old fleet.
Yeah.
Old fleet. all the academies in the Middle East, except a couple of academies like the ones here in UAE, to be very honest, Qatar, Oman, but let's say Levant area, and 70% of the European academies, they have an average fleet age of 40 years old, of 40 years, not 40 years old, of 40 years.
That's old.
Believe it or not, that's 40 years. It's not me. It's not me saying this. It's all the reports out there. Some academies, they are still operating Cessna's 152s from the 1970s. So Aviator Capital came from the heart of a problem that needs a solution, which is academies, they need airplanes, but they don't have money to buy airplanes. So what they will be doing, and that's why when I said that it's a completely different entity, because any academy actually in the world can come to us, to Aviator, knock the door, and if they pass our due diligence and KYC and all these things, we will give them airplanes on a lease basis. Like, let me configure it this way. Take the big lessors in the world like DAE, Dubai Aerospace Enterprise, and the other big players. They buy commercial airplanes, Airbus, Boeing, and they lease it to airlines.
Yeah.
We're doing the same for academies.
You have here the DAE, for example.
Yeah, DAE and UAE.
They have 678 planes.
More. They reached 1,000, I heard.
MashaAllah.
They're doing now an acquisition. So yeah, first of all, definitely we need to fill IAA. So the priority is for IAA now, but then on second, on the series to come, any academy can come to us, and we will be more than happy to finance them with airplanes.
To give them the airplanes for them to be able to operate with the new fleet.
Yes.
Okay.
Even academies next door. We don't have competitors.
Okay, I like that. The market is huge, that's why.
The market is huge, the cake is big, and every single person, God, Allah, Muqassim al-Arzaq, this is a big piece of cake. And every single person will take his own. You can't eat a cake alone. And in aviation, the need is huge, and the need is real. The problem is airlines, they are not at a lot of situations, they're not taking ready pilots from a lot of academies because of reputation, location, license, and a lot of things. We need to guide these people in the right way. We need to help the other academies to put their training in the right way. We need to give them new airplanes to make sure that they are doing the right things. Why? 600,000 pilot is needed by 2040. That's the truth. That's not a lie. But yes, does every single pilot graduate from academy will go to work? No. Does anybody ask the question why? Okay, there is this big need, but airlines are not taking pilots from the market to fulfill their needs. Airlines are still building their own cadet programs. Or they are choosing a couple of academies like ours to take pilots from. Why they're not taking from other academies?
Why?
Old fleet, old mentality in training, bad history, a lot of things. And I say it from my heart. We are here to help everybody because we did it, and we were able to work around the formula, and we want to help others as well grow. And so we need to work together. All the academies needs to work together. Every single academy needs to work with the other single academy next door, so we are able to deliver good pilots for airlines. There is enough cake for everybody. Let's stop fighting each other for student. We don't want this market. We are in a different league in this. Our courses are much more so expensive compared to anybody else. So I really invite everybody every single academy, guys, we need to work together. We are ready to help you. We are ready to upscale your operation not because we have any intention. No, because we are aviation people, and our only intention is to see aviation growing in the right way.
When you talk about aviation in a whole, you mentioned the cake, and that put something in my mind. Aviation in the world, when you talk about the total addressable market, it's huge. But for each one of the pillars that you have mentioned, there is a different total addressable market. And you are saying that we should all gather together for us to be able to actually help each other reach, because the market is huge. How huge?
It's a huge. It's really huge. Like, the numbers doesn't lie. Boeing and Airbus and CAE and all these guys doesn't lie when they give them the numbers. The aviation market is gonna grow by 600% in the next 15 years. Are we able to co-op?
No, I don't think so.
Are we able to grow 600? Like, I will talk from IAE point of view. We as IAE, with all the positive things and the perfect location and the perfect positioning and everything we have, are we able to grow 600%? No. So we need, all of us need to grow 600%. So we are able to close the gap. And we won't be able to close the gap. So we're gonna always have this run in aviation.
So the investment opportunities are huge when it comes to aviation.
Why?
The investment in aviation as an opportunity is huge.
Yep.
And this is going to be at least for the next 15 years, as you mentioned.
Minimum 16 years.
Where would you suggest people go into the aviation industry that they don't understand, that they think it's just ticketing and planes, start the investment with?
Oh, that's a big responsibility now, yeah? It's a big responsibility to tell people where to invest, but of course they can start
Maybe
with
a
something.
sector. Maybe a sector. I'm not saying company, but a sector.
Actually, we with Aviator Capital Partners, I think that we didn't really explain the business model of Aviator Capital Partners. In Aviator Capital Partners, there's IAE that invest in it and invest in airplanes and all these things on a separate note. But as well, people with money can come to us. They can buy airplanes, put it under Aviator Capital Partners, and we lease it back. So that can be actually an entry point, I would say, to investors and to people that they are interested to start something in aviation, but they don't know how. We can guide them through. We can help them actually with an asset-backed investment, because at any bad day, they still have the asset. They still have the airplane. So they paid the price of the asset, and the asset is still there and it's working. Other than this, I would tell people that one of the most interesting sectors that I'm seeing now in aviation is the maintenance sector.
The maintenance sector.
Maintenance sector.
There is a gap in the market and it keeps growing.
There is a huge gap. Maintenance and spare parts. And if you want to upscale the game and you have a couple of hundreds of millions, go for parts manufacturing.
Really?
Yeah.
There's not enough in the market.
No.
And that's a reveal of an amazing news, by the way, for the person that is hearing now. And they have, but maybe they will not know the way. They have the money, but not the way. Would people be able to come to IAE at a certain point and invest?
No, not now.
At a certain point?
Once we have our IPO in 2030, once we are a public company, we're gonna release shares. We're gonna release shares like officially in the market, so people actually can come and buy shares
Some shares in the
from the stock market.
I like this thing about you, by the way. I know that we are in the middle of a podcast, but there's certain people that you will actually answer, and this is maybe the very close circle to you. I have my phone there, very far, and then the other one is literally with no signal, just to use it as a media if I need to watch the time or something. I really enjoyed this podcast, but it's not ending yet. If time goes back, what would you do different?
Multiple things.
Like?
There's things that I can't really reveal, but I trusted some people that I shouldn't.
Well, that's part of the learning process.
Oh yes, definitely. But I would have, if I go back in time, I would have done the thing in a different way, because at some point I thought that I can trust them. Some people that they were born out of IAE and IAA, and then they went alone. Some organizations that we helped go out of a terrible situation, and they just tapped us on our back. And a lot of decisions that I would have just took in in a different way. But I'm happy.
You learned.
I learned at smaller scale.
And you learned by lower money. Cheap.
Yeah, smaller scale.
Yeah.
And I thank God on this. And that will give me clarity for the future. It'll give me clarity on the direction and on how we're gonna tackle the markets in the future and any other partnership that we're gonna have. Because no one will be able to work alone, and no one will be able to grow alone. And we will always be doing partnerships, joint ventures, and all these things. We have a big announcement coming in June 4. Nobody knows about it.
You will announce it in June.
4. It's a really big partnership coming on June 4.
June 4.
A Monday, I think.
A Monday is 1st of June is Monday.
Oh, Thursday, yeah, June 4th, so Thursday.
Okay.
So because we believe in partnerships, we believe that we can grow together, and if we're adding our scopes and we are increasing our scopes, we're gonna have a better positioning and a greater tackling. So if you are good in something, why do I need to recreate the wheel?
Correct.
I will be working with you to grow the thing that we need to grow. And the same for the venture that IAE is doing it with you personally. So you are expert in something and you are interested to have it. So we work together on growing it. We don't reinvent the wheel. Why do I need to bring somebody to put in and start from? No.
And allow me to say this because he said it so many times. We are not revealing that yet. Very soon, inshallah. I don't have a date for the reveal, but yeah, we will reveal it, inshallah, very soon as well.
Yeah.
Okay, the trust, again, you said that the beautiful thing about it is learning on a cheaper rate, let's say, on a smaller scale. What else would because it's not only you cannot go back in time and actually change anything, but you learn for the future. But I want the new people that are watching to get inspired. So what would you say to new generation, especially with this Gen Z, that they are all over the place using the AI? They had the tools that you didn't have, or we didn't even have at the time, and they maybe are not having an actual vision for them to be able to go somewhere. What would you guide them to do, or to inspire them, basically, especially in aviation?
Stay loyal.
Okay.
Be humble. By the way, a lot of people doesn't know this about me, and usually I don't like to say it or to always say it or something. But people think that I'm an arrogant person. But I invite these people to come and know me on a closer view, and they will see how humble we are as an organization. So be loyal, because once you lose the trust of somebody in aviation, you lost the trust of the whole aviation industry. We are a small village. Aviation is a small village.
Correct.
And we gather 6-7 times per week, per year.
Yeah, in events.
And always, in the last event, I was like, guys, I saw you 3 weeks ago. What are we doing here? Like, please, let's stop doing all these events every month. So let's do it every 3 months, because literally in every event we go, it's different name, but same people, same context, and same businesses. So the aviation market is very, very narrow. There is a lot of mushrooms, definitely, everywhere, in every single industry. There is a lot of mushrooms, that these mushrooms are the ones that they are not known. Like organizations that they will never be playing big games, and so on. These are the people that I invite them to do professional business and enter the league of the giants and the league of the professionals. And I invite them as well to keep their word. If you decide to do something, and if you promise something, keep your word, keep your promise, deliver what you promised. That's it. The three things. Otherwise, it's like when a whale take something from the sea, keep it, and then
One time.
and the whole whale, when he's dead, what happens? Even the sea throw him out.
Correct.
So the whale doesn't stay in the sea dead. Or in the ocean. It will arrive to any sand beach or shore, and you find that they're dead.
Just basically,
Don't become the second whale of aviation.
In a bad way.
In a bad way, definitely. If you are living and you are a whale eating everything, congratulations. God bless you.
How would you like to end this podcast, Wissam? A message from heart. That message was to inspire people. Now a message from the Wissam the kid.
The kid, he dared to dream. He dared to say that I want to become something. I want to be known as Wissam Al Mehyou, not Wissam, the son of Ahmad, Wissam bin Ahmad. I wanted to be known as me. I dreamed, and I worked hard, and I am the person I am today. So, guys, either you are a student in the academy, either you are a young entrepreneur or a young leader or a person that is thinking to open a business, I can tell you a couple of things. As a student, don't be afraid. This is your time now. You are in the right place to become the best version of you. We are here to help you. We are here to guide you, and we will fight with you until the end, the last day of your training. This is an academy built from student point of view and student experience, and we will keep our word until the last moment. And our track history, how we dealt with our students, even during war and during all these things, and how we supported the student to move from Lebanon, out of Lebanon, to other bases, it tells who we are and what we do for our students. But all of this can be accomplished without your hard work, your dedication, and your discipline. I always say aviation take 3 things when you want to become a pilot. Discipline is one. If you are not disciplined, aviation is not the right place for you. Attitude, you can be arrogant, or you can have overconfidence, or you have ego. You will kill yourself. Hard work. And I always say hard work and skills and learning, and so the third. Because without the first 2, the third is nothing. But if you have the third, but if you work hard and you study and so on, but you don't have the first 2 built in, unfortunately, you are in the wrong place. A pilot is not with the uniform. Like, I wear my suit and I go to the mall and I want people to see me wearing the suit with golden stripes. This is not aviation. Aviation is here. It's here. It's discipline. It's the attitude. Yes, yet we don't accept a student to come to the academy without a uniform, as otherwise the student won't fly. But this is a discipline for the student to know that he has things that needs to do, not for the student to be arrogant and have ego and all these things. For the future entrepreneurs, I did it before you. That means that you can do it. I encourage you to work hard on your dreams. Success doesn't come overnight. even if you think that you have everything aligned together and you have the right pitch and AI is telling you that, guys, everything is perfect, success doesn't come overnight. It's for us, it's almost 11 years, 10 years, 11 years of hard work, 8 years of operations, of sacrifices, of time, sacrifices of family, traveling all the time, not being able to see people you love, not to stay with the people you love. You need to go through this if you are willing to become the next big thing.
Wissam, I really enjoyed it. Although we talk a lot when it comes to the work itself, I heard some stories I haven't heard when we are in the office. I believe that this is one of the best ways to start the program. And I will allow you to choose the next guy here in the show to be sitting in your seat next time. And then I will basically build it up like this, that the next guest is going to be chosen by whoever is the guest in this episode.
That's hard. You just placed me in a very complicated situation, because I would like to name all our board members now.
You need to choose one, and then they will need to choose someone else.
I will go with Federico because he's into operations now and he's doing things on a daily basis and so on. It's a great, after me, for him to hear his perspective, and then perhaps he can choose another board member to come over.
Now we know that the next episode is Federico from Portugal, and he is basically the body of the company. But there is definitely more to it, because he was he's a pilot actually as well, and he was flying, and he didn't find someone to help him at that time, as Wissam didn't find someone to help him building the company. I believe that you will enjoy it. Until the next episode, write anything in the comments to tell us what you thought about the episode. If you have any questions, I believe that you'll be able to send it to Wissam as well to answer it, for you to be able to get a certain guidance. Until then, fly safe and fly IAA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you, Al Harith. Hayak Allah. I hope that people will enjoy that episode, and see you soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. في أمان الله.